Hey, we are live. All right. Hey, this is Bo with Focused Engagement. Today is Friday, which means we have another Focused Friday. We are on with Sara Bradford, and I'm really excited for two reasons. First, we're running a little late because we've been troubleshooting an issue with a split screen, but we figured out how to do a split screen. And so I'm real excited. Now we can add this to our repertoire. She is in her house, and I'm in my office, and it looks great. I'm real excited about this.
Thank
So,
you.
and my second reason why I'm excited is this is the first time I ever interviewed an author. So, Sara, let's start right off with tell me first, why did you start writing books? What got you into writing books, and what kind of books do you write?
Yeah, I write children's books, and I've always just really liked to write poetry and writing in general. I've always had a love for that, and I decided to, as a hobby, write a book for my daughter about our little ears. We have this genetic predisposition to little ears. And so I didn't want her to feel like her differences would define her and that she could just be proud of who she was for herself. And so it started off as just a mother's love for her child to, help her with her daily life. And everybody really loved it. And I just decided that it was a really good avenue for me to go down. So I just kept on writing, and I wrote 7 other children's books and have about 5 to 10 more in the works. So it's really going great.
Cool. All right. So, 7 books. I'm going to pull up your website in just 1 second in this stream, which is something else we learned how to do. Uh, and I want to point out one book in particular that you told me about. All right, so here's her website. Let's go down. All right, so obviously, first of all, you're writing books, all right? So this is a book about anxiety.
Yes.
So let's just spend 1 second here. It looks like this is your most recent book.
Yes.
Okay, so are all your books around issues that kids may deal with? I guess is the best way to put it. Is
Yeah,
that kind of
basically
your theme?
they do. They do deal with kind of I like to think of it as emotional well-being for children. And the more you invest in your child's emotional well-being, the more they can understand themselves, understand their peers, and which just makes them better people all around, I think. So yeah, the anxiety book was based on my own experience with anxiety and struggling with it as a child and through my teenage years. And it's definitely something children don't understand. And once they have that information and that knowledge, they can get the help or the support they need. They can better understand how to help themselves with, for example, with the anxiety breathing exercises, meditations, things that can really come in handy for self healing and just kind of self preservation in all of
Okay,
its ways.
yeah. This is the book I want to point out. You say
Mhm.
your daughter she illustrated this one.
She illustrated
Is it
this whole book. Yes.
okay? So how old is she?
She's 8, 8
So
going on
so
30, I like to say.
this is kind of I guess we could call it a collaboration then.
Yes,
So
definitely.
that had to be a lot of fun.
It was a great opportunity for her to see what it was like to be a writer. For her, she is amazing at illustrating. So we put it right in her where she needed to be with the drawing. And yeah, she did an amazing job. So I thought that it would just be such a great idea to have her do this book for herself. Here she is right here. Here's Miss Anna, our illustrator for the Anna ABC book. Hello.
Oh, there's my hand. Hi.
Hi.
So you are an officially a published author then, or a
Can you
published
believe it?
illustrator
At
anyway.
8 years
Oh,
old, what a great thing to take into her future with her. Just some
that's right.
confidence building.
Okay, so tell me then, from a marketing standpoint, which is obviously where I come from, if somebody wanted to, you're self-published,
Yes.
right? Okay, so if I wanted to write a book, if I ever had that desire, or anybody that does have that desire, because honestly, I've never had that desire. I have a hard time writing blogs for my site. I have Kyle do that for me. So, um, where would I begin? I mean, I have an idea for a book. Do I just write it, or do I
Yeah.
start with looking for a way to publish it? What do I do?
I did tons of research before I decided I was going to publish. And obviously, when I first began, I did what anybody would do. I reached out to hundreds of publishers. Nobody accepted it. That's okay. I went on and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and research on how to self-publish. And I looked into the fact that I needed to get my own illustrations and I needed to do my own formatting and things that luckily I was able to do on my own. And not the illustrating. We did freelance the illustrations out, which came in wonderful. We went through some trials with that, of course, just with finding the right type of illustrator for the books, and obviously with our budget. But yeah, we ended up finding a wonderful person from Pakistan. Actually, he does our illustrations, and we've collaborated on about 4 books now. So that's wonderful.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then
these are hardbacks, right, or softbacks, or whatever. I mean, these aren't. They're not virtual books. They're actual books.
I have both, actually. I do.
Okay.
I have an ebook set up for every single one of these, and I also have the softback, like you said, available, the paperback. So yeah, they are on Amazon. I just went to Kindle Publishing, and it is free to publish.
Right here. Okay.
And then I just went from there, and they kind of give you guidelines as to what they're looking for, and I put it all together, and it was almost like the scariest thing until I got past that one step, and then it seemed like, wow, have I been waiting so long for this? It wasn't that bad.
So with the printed version, did you have to print a whole bunch and send it to Amazon, or?
You just download everything. It has to be obviously in the correct file formats for them, and they have a very intricate editing process, I guess you could say, where they will send back, no, you need to change this, you need to change your formatting, you need to change your picture size. They give you all of the information you need to get the best product you can out there. And then they just, once it's all perfected, you just hit send and they put it live on the market. So it's really nice. Now I can obviously order author copies, and that is at a lower wholesale price to me. But it takes a really long time to get them. A lot longer than if I go onto Amazon and do a 2-day order.
Really?
So yeah.
Interesting.
So
all right.
Good thing to know. Yeah, they do.
Okay, so you have your book, you're getting it published through Amazon. Still, just because it's on Amazon doesn't mean you're going to get sales. So how do you market it? What was your strategy to get your name out there? Specifically, again, since there's obviously a lot of bigger named authors.
Absolutely.
So how do you compete?
Absolutely. Right away, my passion for writing these books is early childhood education and early childhood learning. I started with obviously family and friends and got it into the hands of as many children as possible. I donated it to my daughter's schools. She came home and said, "Mom, the kids are fighting over your books in library. Nobody wants to read any other books but your books."
Wow.
So, that was such great, yes, I've done it. Because that was really my goal, was to have it affect and help children with, their own needs. And so wonderful feedback from them, definitely. As far as advertising, Facebook, I did a lot of Facebook advertising, probably just months and months and months worth. And we would send out, my husband is really great at patterns, and so he could see kind of the patterns and where the advertising was going to be good. And so he's like, I let him kind of be my manager on that and let him set the times and focuses and such. And the sales, I love that. It's been a year now, and we have under 200 sales, which isn't a lot, but it's tons. It's tons since I was coming from just a hobby,
Sure.
and it's also been sold globally. It's been sold in the UK and in some other countries, Colombia and stuff. So very neat that people are really finding a need for this all over
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah. So what's
So.
been more popular? Your physical copy, your softback or hardback, whatever we call it, or the ebook?
Ooh, good question. I think probably I actually have sold a lot of physical books. The ebooks, I say, were probably maybe 30% of those 200 sales. So yeah, there has been a great, because they're less expensive, but for children, they really like to have
Yeah.
it in their hand,
Yeah.
and they can read it over and over and over again. They can love the pictures and things. So I think that hopefully parents realize that that's the best way to have the books in their hands.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Well,
yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking is as adults, sure, we have our ebook because we have our tablet or our phone or whatever, but as kids, yeah, they want to hold it, but if you want to read it to your kids, it's so much easier to have a book in your hand.
yeah.
So my assumption when I asked that question is that you probably had a lot more physical copies sold than virtual copies. I don't
Yes.
know. I'd be interested to know of other, adult self-publishers, if it's the opposite. I'm guessing it would be, they'd sell more virtual copies than the physical copy, but I don't know. I'll have to find an author and ask them. So
Yeah, definitely.
now let me ask you this, because I always got to plug these guys. It's how we met, and I absolutely love the group. But do you market it on Connect Utah?
Yeah, I have. I'm kind of a small niche, so I think that it's sometimes overlooked. But I'm, over
Yeah,
before this Christmas season and such, I'm definitely going
you'd
to
say
be
we
pushing
all
it
have,
hard.
we all have nephews or nieces or kids or grandkids
Right?
or whatever. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I would think that that's something that you would probably would benefit from, just that constant,
I would hope so.
getting
Yeah.
out there. One thing I could tell you, it absolutely is true in marketing, is it's repetition, right? It's consistency. It's getting your name out there constantly, because the first time they see you, they'll probably ignore it. Second time they see you, they'll probably ignore it. By the third time they're seeing you, now they're starting to pay a little bit of attention, and it may take, which if I was to plug myself, which is why retargeting is really an effective way to market, because it just keeps your name out there constantly. So so you got plans to continue writing books, or you got 7 out there, and I was looking, it looks like they've all been out fairly quick.
Yeah, I
So
really got them.
last year
It was
maybe?
amazing how quick the process went, as once we got into it. Obviously, with COVID, things have slowed down. Financially with our budget, they've slowed down, and so we're having to take some steps back. But in the future, yes, I have several more books that I've already have worked on. I just need to have the ability to get them put out there. And I'm so lucky. I have a super industrious family, and we're always just making things. And so, yeah, we have a lot of projects that we're working on. And yeah, but
So
oh, go ahead.
I just gonna say, one of the cool things about this software, watch this, here it goes. I just changed that. Look at that. There's now her information. There's her website, Sarah's website. That's her Facebook. So anyway, I wanted to change that and get that out there as we finish our conversation here. So you're going to be doing more books. You're obviously going to continue to market. You got a nice website, and that's always a big key. Does Amazon, just in general, do they push your books, or do they help in any way to sell your book, or you kind of on your own?
I've been able to do a few advertisements with Amazon, and not really even advertisements, but deals like get my ebook for 99 cents. I have been able to push some of those, which has been nice. They don't really give deals on the physical copies, but they will let you get deals on your electronic copies of things. So that's some way. I am looking into the advertisement for Prime Day. In fact, just this morning I was kind of researching what that's going to look like, and looks like something that I might be able to do to accomplish. So hopefully that would be really nice to make sure that I could get it out for that day, since it's all through Amazon.
Let's give this one last question a try and see what happens. If somebody came up to you and says, "Hey, I want to publish a book," what would you recommend? Where would they begin? What's your advice to them?
I would definitely tell them to just research as many, self-publication sites, software that they need to have to upload all those files. And yeah, I would definitely say it's so possible. In fact, I just recommended it to a gal in a group the other day because her son has autism, and he made all these amazing pictures. And so I suggested, hey, you should self-publish these. It's super easy, and it's such a great thing for those kids to have, in the future. A book that will never. My books will always be out there now, and my children will always have a book about themselves in the world. I think it's pretty special.
Sure. Sarah, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty again. So I just want to say, if you hear me fine, thank you so much. Again, her email or her website is right here. Let me wait for it to scroll again. sjchildsbooks.com. You can see her on Facebook, all for kids books. And definitely check out her books out. They're really neat. I got to buy this one where her daughter illustrated it. That's just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So if you're looking for books, you're looking for gifts coming up for Christmas, great. If you have any questions about how to market a book, I'm sure she would love to answer those questions. Reach out to her and talk to her. She's going to be a really good resource for you. So again, Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciated the conversation. And for everybody out there in Facebook land, and until next Friday, we'll see you.
Bye.